This is BenefX, and it's 17 minutes past 1 in the morning. It is a lovely Wednesday morning. It's the 31st of August 2022, and this is an important video. Since I had been detailing my journey, I thought I should talk about the good days and the bad days. And yesterday was an example of what a bad day can be like. So I'm just going to be explaining what happened and how I blew close to $150 and then how I made it all back. So please like, subscribe, and share. And I put my broker details. Just sign up with my broker. I also put my phone number so you can get in touch with me and we can talk and communicate. So I once posted a video on trader's identity, and I spoke about finding out what type of trader you are by finding out the amount of risk that you're able to consume at a certain point in time. So I know the type of trader that I am. I don't like risk. And I found a way to trade based on that by using small amounts of capital and getting into a lot of entries with that small amount of capital, quickly reaching my target profit and then exiting my trade. That's what I've been doing. It's a good strategy, but sometimes it doesn't work. And yesterday was an example of it not working. I woke up very early in the morning, I think around 2 a.m. and then I started trading. I think I had a reserve of about $146, and in my account there was probably somewhere close to $30. So yeah, somewhere around there, and I thought I was good. I got into my first couple of trades, and let's just analyze and see what happened. I was trading V10, I think. Yeah, I'm sure I was trading V10. While we're talking, I'm just going to be checking out for setups. I like how V10 keeps bouncing there and going back to the EMA. So as we're talking, I'm just going to be if it comes right down, then we go up. Anyway, so I was trading V10, and one mistake that I made is that I did not analyze. I didn't analyze. I was on my phone, I was sleepy, and I saw something that looked like a setup, and I entered into it. So my strategy is a small amount of TP, but a lot of trades, and this usually works. But then I need to be very careful because I would need to see rejections first. Remember, we enter into the second leg of a candle of a setup, enter into the second leg, and we stack our entries there. If we get to the target profit, we get out. So this is what I was trading. We're going to be starting with the first bunch of trades. I sold V10, and look at the number of cells I did. This is V10. Just look at those cells, look at those cells, look at those cells, and look at those cells. So when we got here, my balance was now somewhere around $6 something, and I wanted to add $4 so that I'd have a $10 balance, and I deposited $4.57. I continued selling, 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 right? And we got here, and when we got here, what happened is my margin was almost depleted, so I had to deposit another 10, and then I deposited another 5, and then I deposited another 5. All these times my margin was being depleted, and look, I kept on selling V10, and it just wasn't working. What I realized was the trade was good. Let's just go on V10. I think I was trying to sell around this region. Yeah, I was trying to sell around. Was I? I was trying to sell around this region. no. Sorry. Australia is still around this region. Yes. And it would have been a good drop down. It actually was a good trade. But then the thing is, I didn't have enough capital. And because some of these trades would go in profit, but then because I didn't have capital, I'd get stopped out. So I kept on selling V10. I kept on selling V10. And when I realized that my margin was depleted, I added $10 again. So when you are constantly losing, the thing is, it's normal human nature to not want to be told you're wrong. So the moment that happened, I immediately wanted to be proven right. So just imagine all this money that I put in. Now I think I deposited $10, 20, 30. I was now on like a $40 deposit and nothing had happened. And I kept on selling. So look at all these sell entries for V10 and they didn't work out. I kept on selling. And then I deposited 10 again. So now we're on 45. And I kept on selling and I kept on selling V10. It didn't work out. Then I thought, hey, let me try another pair. And I deposited 30. I deposited 30. I kept on selling. I changed the pair. I got into V25. V25 was a good buy. All these were good trades, but then the problem is that I got in late, so I didn't factor in for the retracements. So the retracements took me out. So imagine I put in 30, then I bought V10. Look at all these V10 buys. None got into profit. By this time I was so emotional that I deposited $100. And I was like, I'm going to make back the $60-something that I lost. So I put in $100 and I bought V25. V25 was a good buy, but then my positions were too big, way too big, and there were too many. So look at what happened in that $100. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. Then I thought to myself, and this was the problem, was that I was so invested and so emotional. I didn't notice that it was time for work. I go to work. I work at a financial institution, at a financial service institution, Zimbabwe's biggest financial institution. So this was now time to go to work. But then because I was so emotionally invested in this, I wanted a positive trade. So then this was around 6-ish. I was 6-ish and I had to get to work. So then I got ready and I got out and I got to wait for transport. So what happened is that I checked for V75 and I thought it was a good buy. So V75 is interesting. So I would just want you to look at this and how bad or how emotions played a part in me losing $150. I got into a V75. I got into good buy. I started scalping my buys. Then I was stacking entries and I pressed a sell by mistake. And I got into a loss of $10. And then I did it twice. I got into a loss of $11. Then I was so hurt. Then I stopped. Right. I was so hurt. Then I stopped. Then I was like, what am I going to do? And I took a breather, I think. Then I set up for V75 ones. Shout out to Mike D, FOREX Academy, for this really good entry on V75 sell. And I got into that sell. So that sell, the thing is, I was so emotionally supercharged. I'd done too many silly things, like this $20. Let me just mark it. This $20. I didn't need to lose that $20. All of this was rubbish. But this $20, I didn't need to lose it. So what happened was that I got into a V75 one sell. And I think that's when, fortune started changing. And I thank God for that. Really good entry. Got into the M1. And I intended on scalping. It was a sell on the on H1 time frame. Let's see if we can check it out. 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 Let's see if I still remember where it was, because I could see it on the H1 time frame, and I could see it on the H1 time frame. So I'm not sure again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 minus 24 minus 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So okay, I think I was selling this. This is what I was selling. Yeah. So I did. No, I was selling this. Okay. So I think I was selling this. Really good entry. And I stacked. So because I was so emotionally supercharged, I did a lot of reckless things. But this is one reckless thing I am grateful for. And these were the positions I sold. I stacked my sales. I'm going to post a video of the trade. I had, so now from $180 something, I was left with $36. And of that $36, I regretted losing $20. I was supposed to get $56, but then the other $20, I lost it because I was too emotional. So I was left with $36. So of that $36, I went on my M1 and I started stacking my sales. I stacked my sales. So just look at these sales and look at my positions. So look at the profit. Look at the time I entered. This was 8 a.m., 8:22 a.m. And I want you to look at the positions. I want you to look at the number of times I sold. So look at the number of times I sold. Right, and yeah, let's see what happened. So I started selling. So look at these. These are the sell positions. Look at all those positions. Look at all those positions. Look at all those positions. So at one time, this was probably around close to 9-ish, I think. Yeah, it retraced and I'd made about $180. Then I started retracing and it went back to -12, I think, -$12. And I'd stacked and entered more trades as it continued going down when I started seeing rejections. So then it started retracing and got to about -12, and I started panicking. And I was like, I'm not going to focus on this. Then I got offline. Then I checked 2 hours later, and I was now sitting on about $250 profit. So the trade started, ranging between $250 and $150. So the last push down, it then went to $300, and that's when I closed. So look at all these sell positions. 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 Just look at all these sell positions. My target was $11 an entry on the last ones. So the last ones being these ones for 6, 7. I was hoping to get $11 an entry. But then I told myself if I was going to get $300, I was going to be okay. So I sold and sold and sold and sold. Just look at all those cells. Okay. Look at all those cells. Okay. So I sold and sold. And then when I got to about 304, I closed my positions and I left 3 positions running. I'm going to show you these positions. 1, 2, 3. These are the positions I left running because I just wanted to, I thought to myself, if they dropped down to my $11 take profit, it was going to be good because it was going to be $33 times $33. If it was going to surpass, it was going to be way more. So I was content with making $300 and leaving, because when I closed all these, my positions were on $5 each, $5.95. So yeah, I was pretty convinced. And then I left these 3 and let them run. And I closed with $275 profit. I closed with my account is started with 36 before I entered these cells, and then when I closed, I think I closed on about $314, and I withdrew my money, and this is what I got in. So yeah, I withdrew my money, and I just did some small scalps. These cents, these dollars, these cents, and it's called small scalp buys. They were really good. I wasn't fussy because I'd already reached my monthly target in a couple of hours. So this is today. This is today. Okay, so this is yeah. So the last thing I did was buy this for yesterday. I bought these for yesterday. I bought V25 for yesterday, and I was content because I think I made about $20 profits, I think. And yeah, let's look at today. Let's look at today's profit. Let's look at today's profit. And for today, let's look at today's profit. Then we get to assess what happened, what worked, what didn't work, what worked, what didn't work. Okay, today I got into I think those last buys, yeah, those last V25 buys, I just closed them now, and I made about $10 profit, and my account is on 42. I started with 20, so I've made $22, which means I've reached my daily target. So I'm okay. I'm not under any pressure, and I'm content with that. Okay, so this is what I learned. I learned that you shouldn't be emotional. I learned that when trades don't go your way, get out. I learned that if a trade is not going your way, get out. Not trading is trading. Save yourself. You know, you're not out to prove a point. You're out to make money. If the trade doesn't go your way, then it's fine. It's a lesson. Leave. Get out. Get out of that trade. And I learned to be strict with my rules. When I say second leg entry, it has to be after the rejection, after the weak rejection. I'm getting into the second candlestick. What I mean is, let's look at this. Let's look at this right here. Let's look at this right there. This is the first leg, and this is the second leg. I have to wait for this rejection, and then I get into this candle, and what's going to happen is that it's going to push and get to this neckline, and when it gets to this neckline, I know it's going to push going up. So the extent of the push is dependent on how it pushed on the previous level. So you see how price moved there. So I'm going to be anticipating. I'm going to be saying, okay, this is how I'm going to be going out. Let me show you what I did on V25 when I got the $10 profit. I just want to show you what I did. It was on M1. Okay, so I saw this rejection. And it came down here, and I knew it wasn't going to come back down. This is what price did. So price came down, formed the first leg, and I knew it wasn't going to come down to match this second leg, and it started rejecting there. After started rejecting there, and it was going to come up, and I started stacking my buys. I stacked my buys, and I got out when I almost was there. Yeah, because I didn't want to trade that much, because I was not emotionally in a state of mind that was going to allow me to hold trades. That's what I've been focusing on now, my state of mind, how I am. If I'm not positive about something, I don't focus on it, and I quickly go out. So yeah, that's what I did. I stacked my buys there, and I got out there. So I'm good for today. I'm good for today. I've already made my daily profit. If I'm able to consistently do this, I can make $300 a month. $300 a month. If I'm able to do that, but it's not always like that, because you have to manage emotions and all that. Like right now, I'm seeing possible buys, at least buys up to here, so I can stack there. In my mind, I'm like, let me stack there, put my stop loss on entry, and let it ride till there. I'm a scalper and I'm a swinger, and when I'm swinging on the M15. So guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something. Just don't be emotional. It's your money. It's your money. Don't donate it to the broker. I don't know if you've ever seen the Deriv headquarters. They're really beautiful. And they've built those headquarters on the backs of our tears. So just keep focused. And I'm going to be documenting my journey further. I hope that you learn a thing or two. And I hope that you're blessed by the lessons I'm giving. Please get in touch with me. Just tell me what you're thinking. Tell me how you feel about trading. If you need help, just get in touch and I'll definitely help you. This is BenFX and I trade by the grace of God. Ciao.